This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Lowe-McGregor here in Saudi Arabia. Lee, it's good to see you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun week, and I'm feeling good.
It's obviously been a bit of a roller coaster time for you in your career. How would you assess the last year to 18 months of everything?
It's been very, very challenging. Very tough. But some reason I've got some grit, some determination, and this weekend, it's time to get back. I've built myself away in the background. I had two under the radar fights, a lot more low key than this, that's for sure. But what I needed to do, get my momentum back and back to where I belong this weekend, and show everyone that I'm one of the best fighters in Britain.
How much of a challenge has it been to maintain that hunger and desire that you have through the tough period that you've been through?
Yeah, very, very hard. It's been so tough and so challenging, and there was times I was losing belief, losing hope, so much frustration, so much anger. But someone just made me keep looking after myself and keep believing. But I was honestly losing belief as well. So I can only say that it was my family, that's made me really keep pushing on. The things I was having to deal with, and like almost made me feel like, well, I can't do this anymore. It wasn't just that though. It wasn't just I feel like you could say forgotten about, not getting any opportunities, just sitting away in the dark, knowing how good I am, knowing the level I belong at, knowing watching fighters I believe that I can beat, getting so much better opportunities than me, and just having to sit, watch and deal with it. And then just the person I was, around my family, like it's not the happy usual me. It's always just been difficult. So but we're here, we've come out the other end, and like I said, built away in the background with the last two fights, and got my momentum back and got back to where I needed to be. And then securing this fight was huge, and yeah, we're ready to go.
Obviously, Saturday is a big night for yourself, and you mentioned working away for this opportunity. Given everything you've been through recently, what gives you the confidence that, as you mentioned, that anger, the frustrations, that self-belief that at times you've doubted, all of it won't kind of take over your emotions on fight night? What gives you confidence you won't allow that to happen, and you just focus on the task at hand, you focus on Usyk-Fury?
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and I just think it's my mindset and the way I am and the position I am just now, and the difference in me compared to, like we said, 12 months ago when I was going through all them hard times. Like I was so stressed and worried and overthinking so much stuff, like I says, because I did achieve so much so early on in my career, and I bought my first family home. I was living well, and then I was starting to worry what the hell's, I was losing sponsors, I was losing promoters, I wasn't getting fights, and the money wasn't the same as what it was, and it was just I was in a bad place, but the position I'm in now, everything sort of fell into place since I got the two back-to-back fights, two back-to-back knockouts. What I needed to do, done that basically myself away in the background, basically made them fights myself. That's truly honest. Got people back speaking about me a little bit, and couldn't just sit away in the dark and get forgotten about any longer. And then my manager, Lee, managed to get this fight secured and over the line, which I'm grateful for, and I plan on taking full advantage of it this weekend. And what's made me so confident for this and made me leave no stone unturned is what I just explained there. I can't feel like that ever again, and I know a loss on Saturday night could potentially mean that, so there's simply no way I'll be denied this weekend.
The challenge of Usyk-Fury then, how do you anticipate looking to break him down? How do you look to have your hand raised at the end of the fight?
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but I think people are going to see the boxing skills in me as well. I can box. I'm a very good boxer when I want to be. Sometimes let my heart rule my head, but yeah, just show a bit of everything. Get back. Like I says, don't want to give away too much, but I think we'll see a bit of everything. And as the fight goes, I think the tougher it's going to be for Usyk.
The win is the most important thing, Lee, but as you know yourself, a lot of fighters have wanted to get into these Riyadh season cards. There's a lot of talk about the financial element that's involved as well. It's not. Is it just about the win at this stage in your career, or is it about making a statement to ensure that there might be another opportunity which props up for you to potentially be on another one of these shows in the coming year?
Yeah, of course, obviously the win is the most important thing, but putting in the statement performance and like you just said there, getting back out here and showing how good I really am, I'm not going to get a better opportunity. You know, it's huge, it's massive, and I plan on taking full advantage of it and putting on a career best performance.
I know it's one fight at a time, Lee, but when you envisage 2025 and provided Saturday goes to plan, how do you see everything unfolding for you? What's the aim for next year?
Just, it's going to be a good feeling. You know, I'm going to be in a position where I can, you know, not sit in the dark. No one can ignore me. No one can forget about me. You know, I've just come off, hopefully, a fantastic win on one of the biggest cards we've ever seen. I'm going to be in a very good position, and I'm open and ready for all the big fights, and I will prove that I'm good enough for these big fights this weekend.
Is there anybody in particular who you look at and you think you want to position yourself to try and get something on with?
Even before this fight, I said openly, in interviews, and again, it was not being arrogant, and I feel like that's kind of why I was getting forgotten about a little bit, as I was just sitting in the dark, and I was just letting myself get forgotten about. So I started making a bit of noise, and I said, look, like, I'm willing and ready to fight any featherweight. I even said any super featherweight in the country. Obviously now I've had a full camp. I've done everything properly. I've really done. It's went so good. Featherweight, I feel like the weight that suits me. But funny enough, the way this week's been going, it's just mad how much I've learned from that previous camp, that previous last fight, making super bantamweight, because I'm in a better position now, making the weight above than I was making the weight below for that last fight. But we talk about experience, we live and learn, don't we? So, but anybody, I wanna fight the best. I've always been like that my full career. So anybody who's worked with me knows that there's no going to be ducking fights. You know, I want big fights. So
obviously, I don't know the ins and outs as to how comfortable you might have made super bantam previously, but obviously it's no secret now Inoue might not have long left at that weight, and then those titles become vacant. Mm-hmm. Are you completely done with that weight, or do you think if you see those titles become vacant, it might be a decision to be made to try and see if you can manoeuvre to one of them?
Well, the way I felt and for that super bantamweight fight with Robles was worth not even thinking about. Okay. But with how well this has went for featherweight, you're like, wait a minute. And I think the main thing with me is time, not ballooning up and down. I think that was the bantamweight days that done that to me. I've learned so much. I know myself better than anybody, so I think obviously I've took a lot on myself for this fight. You know, I've done like my nutrition, everything myself, but nobody knows themselves better than themselves. So, and that's one thing I've done what I feel is right for me, and I'm now in the best position I ever have been. So we'll see, but my full focus is on Saturday night, winning, putting in a statement performance, and we'll see what happens after that.
Just got to ask on one fighter at featherweight who holds a title from the UK is Nick Ball. Obviously has his fight with TJ Doheny next year, but a fight there for you if things aligned. Obviously a fight between Scotland and England as well, UK, all domestic clash. Yeah,
I've got so much respect for Nick, and I'm actually quite grateful to him and his team, and I feel like it was back at the start of this year. They gave me the little bit light and push to give this another crack, because I was at the start of the year, don't know if I could carry on doing it, what I was going through, and they got in touch for sparring. I went down, it was for the Ray Vargas fight, was that? When was that? So I sparred him.
Ray. I can't remember if Ray. No, I think Ray Vargas was like March time maybe, and then he fought Ford after
yeah.
that.
So they got me down for the Vargas fight for the sparring. I gave me a little bit, and then I got my May fight. So it was worked in well with that. Again, not the doing from going from the camp with Nick sparring him to then him going into a fight that he went in, and then the fight that I went in. It was just it was mad, but again, what I needed to do. Then the Rios, I went down again, sparring, and again, like I said, so much respect, and I know he knows as well, the respect's there. He knows that would be a great fight, a big fight. I feel like he's got the same mindset and the same attitude towards this game as what I have. There would be no animosity. We're both true fighters. I feel like we both fight anybody. And going on the sparring, the fans would be in for an absolute treat if that fight was to ever get made. And like I've said previously, not being arrogant, cocky, disrespectful, I would be open to fighting anybody. But it's time to take care of business on Saturday, prove that, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Can you reveal any more details about that sparring, Winnie?
No, honestly, very, very, very good sparring, and I'm sure people will see one day if the fight was to ever happen.
All right, Lee, I appreciate your time. Obviously, best of luck on Saturday night. Thank you for speaking to me in Boxing News.
Thank you. Cheers.